name's Anicia, and I am the founder of Harmonic Co-Creation, which is a creative community in which we co-create writing, meditating, art therapy, sound therapy, all those really cool things. If you're interested, click the link below to go to my website. But I also am the author of A Beautiful Interruption, and we are going to talk about how I published this poetry book. Okay, so I broke it down into 9 steps for you to self-publish your own poetry book. And I watched a lot of different videos of publishing or self-publishing your own poetry book before I went about publishing my own. But in the process, I found I had to watch a lot of different videos just to try to get all the information that I needed between editing, formatting, and using different sources. And I felt like there were some pieces that were missing. So my goal is to try to see if I can cover everything all in one. Okay, step one. So write your poetry book. So just write poetry down. I wrote it in this notebook and basically kept collecting it over years. The book that I published, Beautiful Interruption, was these pieces of writing collected over 3 years. And after I had them all written up and decided that I wanted to publish them, I just typed them up in a Word document. When I would put them in the Word document, I looked up and researched all the different types of formatting for them, and I did what was suggested, but it didn't necessarily work when I got to the actual publishing part, and we'll cover that when I get there. But when I typed them up, I basically typed them up and then edited them on there, and then I printed them out so that they came out into it was basically one piece of paper together that I ended up slicing in half, just kind of save paper, but so that I could have them the size of what I thought they were going to be as when I got the actual book. And so I wanted it to be very similar to the size of the book so I could see where it was sitting on the page, how the margins were, all those different things. So I basically printed them out like this. And then what I did was I went through, because again, this was after I combed through and supposedly edited while I was on my laptop. There were plenty of things that I found that I still needed to edit. So you have to go through and comb through several times for you to get through all of the writing and make sure that it's decent and edited well. I do find that taking your time with editing, meaning going and looking at it, waiting a while, going back and combing through everything again with new, fresh eyes, it'll help you to correct mistakes that you missed before, because your mind is automatically knowing what you wanted it to say there. So it will kind of input it and you'll miss it when you're editing it. But these tabs and why this is kind of looking like this. So as I went through and was reading them, I got the feel of each piece and how I wanted them. And I grouped everything out. So I was laying everything out as I was editing them, and I would put a tab because I didn't get through everything in one day. I was doing a little bit at a time. And so I would put a tab to feel like, okay, this feels like ponderings, because one of my chapter titles is Pondering of Poetry, Diving Within, Firmly Rooted. So I got the feel. One of them is even Fires of Frustration. So depending upon where I was at or what I felt from that piece of writing, I basically kind of grouped them, and how I grouped them and kept them in order as over time, like 2-3 months of me editing and trying to keep track of everything. I just got little sticky notes, and I did them basically by color for what they were most suited for. And then I would at the top just kind of write whatever that chapter was going to be. This one is acknowledgement and acceptance. And I grouped them all together that way. So then when it came to going back to the computer and editing them, because as I was going through, read it through, make a mark, with a marker or a pen, and then I'd go through the Word document and make sure that I made the same corrections on there that I noticed that I caught from here. And then I started moving things around so that all the pieces started to fall in the same order that I put them in by hand. I felt like this was extremely helpful for me, printing them out, getting them in order. I felt like it made it a little less cumbersome with just trying to do it on the computer. And this I found to be super suitable, great for overtime, and also even coming up with the table of contents. I came up with my table of contents after I wrote the pieces of writing, not before. Okay, So the next step, what is formatting? So with formatting your poetry book, I went on and I used Word. And in Word, I put the settings. I think I had 0.75 on the margins. And then I had one on the top and then one on the bottom. And I went through, I had everything set, and I made sure that everything was aligned and it looked proper and it looked correct and it printed out good on this piece, and I thought everything was solid. So when I got to uploading it into KDP, I realized that KDP, when you're trying to publish it on Amazon, it starts on the right side of the page and not the left side. But when you do Word document, and you try to upload it, the Word document is automatically putting everything to the left. So in trying to format, I was trying to figure out how to adjust the margin based off of where each piece fell on the page, and it just became super I tried all types of things, kept re-uploading, uploading it, revising it, and shifting it, and it just wasn't working for me. So I had a friend that was writing a regular book, and I asked, what do you use? And he was using Atticus. So I went on to Atticus, and I'll put that link there as well. That's Atticus, Atticus, which is a formatting, basically, software for you to format your book. I thought it was really cool because it gives you the table of contents in a proper order. You can put the copyright message that you want in there. It centers everything for you. You can pick whether you're starting on the right side. You can pick whether you're starting on the left side. Everything seemed to work well as far as formatting. It's about $150 in order for you to do it. And I thought it was a really, really great resource for me, but it wasn't necessarily made for publishing a poetry book. So one of the kinks that I found, I used it and it worked well for the design, the look, and all those things. But each page, instead of being able to just kind of write a manuscript and upload it and have everything flow through like a regular book does, poetry, you have to have, or at least how you're designing it, it's one piece of writing on each page. So what I had to do was go through, label the chapter, and then create the pages, every single page, and then copy and paste and put the piece of poetry on that page. And so it was time consuming. And like I said, again, it formatted everything for me. Everything turned out great. I'm very, very happy with how my book turned out. And it accounted for the margins, all of that. It's very, very professional looking, loved it, but it was very time consuming sitting there and having to go through to put every single piece on each page. So the next step is for you to create your cover and any photos or anything that you want to have in there. I created mine all using Canva, and I went through, I designed my cover. I wanted something very personal to me. This was my not for sale copy that I got and printed out. But I wanted my piece to reflect me. And so I used a photo, I edited on there, and then I used that basically as my cover, which was super easy for me to upload to KDP. If I were to do it again, I would not just do the front cover as my cover. I would make sure that I had used a full document or went through, excuse me, Canva and used a notebook template and did the front and the back, because me uploading the front of it meant that I had to use KDP's options for this binding the side and the back. And it looks good. It looks okay, but it didn't match. Had I had done everything on Canva, the font and the style and everything would have matched. There were just two different styles. Is it something that somebody else, when they buy the book, that they're going to be like, oh my God, that this doesn't match this does not? Maybe not. But for me, as the person making it and writing it and looking at every detail, it was something that I noticed that kept making me feel a little bit aggravated that everything didn't flow exactly the way that I thought it should flow as far as all the font and everything, like this font being the same as this font and the font on the back. So yeah, I also added some pictures as well. So I put the titles of each chapter, and I was able to add pictures. Again, these were pictures that I made and used basically using Canva and added them in just to add a little bit of character to my book. Same thing, just dropped them the same way that I was adding a page and adding a piece of writing in Atticus. I was just adding the photo as a page itself. And then the next page, I just posted the next poem that was to follow in that page. So after creating the cover and any photos or content that you want, step 6 is to upload it onto KDP. So KDP is super easy, user-friendly. They have all types of videos for you to be able to use, but it was very easy for me to upload it. They ask you, did you use any AI to publish your or write your book. So you do have to check if you're using artificial intelligence. But if it's self-published and it's you fill out all the information that they're asking, and then they'll have a tab for you to upload your cover, or you can make a cover using their software. And it also has a tab for you to upload your manuscript or your document, and you upload that. When you upload it, you're able to see what it looks like flipping through. So you can click each page and see how it falls and see how everything's going. When I first went through before I used Atticus, this was the step that I found out and started to get frustrated with. It's not aligning the way that I want it to align. And so I kept having to go back to the editing and the formatting phase to try to get everything straight until I started using Atticus. So after uploading everything into KDP, you can order a sample, which is what I have here. It's a sample and it says not for resale on it, but it's basically everything that someone else is going to get just without that seal if they order your book. And so I went through one last time and combed through each one, found maybe little things I wanted to change, made notes for myself on them. If there was a comma or a something wasn't capitalized, that's kind of where you want to be as far as editing is concerned, is knowing that the most that could be wrong with your manuscript after other people looking at it and you've had peer reviews and things like that, the most thing you want wrong is maybe a comma or a period kind of out of place, but everything else is in good order. So you go back, revise it after you get this copy and make your kind of final edits. And then you decide on what price you want, which you can decide on the price on KDP. And you can go ahead and hit publish. Now with the pricing for KDP and Amazon, so they do on-demand printing. So you're not getting a bulk of orders sent to your house unless you order them, because there is a way for you to do that. But you're having it to where people can go on Amazon, and when they order it from Amazon, it's getting printed by Amazon when it's ordered and distributed straight to them. So you don't have any stockpiling or anything going on in your area or in your house. Cool thing about that is you also can edit your book after you've already hit publish. Like if you really saw something and somebody told you, hey, this is messed up or this is really off, you can edit it and then hit you can resubmit the manuscript again and then hit republish, and it'll republish and fix every other order that comes out and is sent to someone. Will have that change that's in there. So you can revise and change as many times as you want. But with that being the feature, you have to account for the cost that it takes to print it and have it shipped to the person that's purchasing, which means with the price that you pick, your book, I think my book is $17.99 that I have on Amazon. With your book, you're selling it for $17.99. Well, Amazon is taking the printing costs and the distribution, the shipping costs, all those things, it's taking it out of there. So out of $17.99, I believe I get just over $7 per book. So an option around that is you can order on kind of like the back office, where the same places where you publish your book, they have the option for you to order it yourself as the publisher. You can order about 20 books or 50 books at just the printing cost price and have them sent to you, where that printing cost may be $7, $8. You're paying that amount per book, and then you can sell the book yourself in by hand or at a booth, and then you can sell it, say, for $20 and kind of make the difference. You can make a little bit more by selling it yourself versus Amazon kind of making the bulk of the money from you. So that covers all the steps to self-publishing your own poetry book. I had a good time publishing. Beautiful Interruption is the name of mine. If you're interested, it's available on Amazon. Follow me at Harmonic Co-Creation on Instagram and Facebook to see what we're doing, participate in our events. If that resonates with you, feel free to get involved. We'd love to have you. Thank you for watching.